Yo! I finished this game. And telling you right now, no spoilers. This is spoiler free. Well, the spoilers will be uploaded after tonight at 9. And you can watch that video if you want. That's for people who've already played or who don't care, you know, whatever. But this, just general talking, impressions and stuff. Listen, I've been a fan since the game came out, and I've probably played the game, beaten the game, I don't know, like 40 to 50 times. Like, not in like a speedrun style, but like casually playing through and, you know, getting all the story and searching all the stuff. You know, I played the compilation games and stuff like that too. And I'm just gonna say that I'm very pleased with the game. I was pleased with the game mechanics. I was pleased with the story elements. I was pleased with the music. I'm really pleased with the music, actually. And what was the last thing? The graphics, the mechanics, the music, the thing. I'm happy. I'm happy. And for those of you guys that are like nostalgic, like, I'll just say this. I did catch myself a couple times going like, hey, that's different. Or like that. But then I was like, oh, wait, this is different. And when I watched it and played out and didn't think like how it was different from the original, things paid off really well. It will be an adjustment. There's gonna be some adjustments to how, you know, you're gonna have to view like certain things from the original to this. But overall, man, it's just so good. The gameplay, first of all, is incredible. It's amazing. It's smooth. It's reactive. You can customize a lot of the settings to kind of fit what you want, especially with the camera and the targeting and stuff, which is super cool. I found myself loving the combat so much that I would find reasons to go fight more because it was just that fun. It is all the things you want out of like an action game, like a action sword, you know, whatever style game, and it's all the things you want out of an RPG together. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than they freaking did it. Like, they freaking did it. And you can kind of see how like they wanted to do it with Crisis Core, but like Crisis Core didn't quite hit the mark, right? Obviously it was limited by a PSP, which is still a system that was ahead of its time. But this game takes that full vision of how do we tell an extremely intense action story, because that's what Final Fantasy VII really is, right? Especially with all the swordplay and stuff. How do we tell that story, but not forsake the thing that makes Final Fantasy amazing, being an RPG? And they got it. I hope in future installments of Final Fantasy games or sequels and stuff like that they keep kind of this as the base model, and like, you know, definitely with like, I would love a Final Fantasy VIII remake, and it'd be cool to have kind of the same general base idea for Final Fantasy, but with the junction system and different mechanics and stuff on top of that. But like the general idea of play is just, man, that's what Final Fantasy should be. It's like Resident Evil. I don't, you know, there's certain things that you keep intact that I think flow really good from like Resident Evil 2 to Resident Evil 2 Remake, right? And it's not necessarily the combat system, but it's how the combat makes you feel, right? And I think that Final Fantasy VII Remake does an incredible job of making you understand kind of what it's like to be like, play as this like, you know, ex-soldier operative, right? You didn't really get that in the original because, you know, it was turn-based. You didn't really get to see what these characters can do, and now you can. And that's just so awesome. It's so beautiful. This game is gorgeous. The story is so faithful and yet expanded. Like, when you let go of little details and you see how things unfold, you're like, man, that actually makes a little more sense kind of the way they did it, you know? Like, in the PS1, there's there's a lot of limitations. There just are, right? And so some things kind of get played off goofier. The dialogue is like, what? That makes no sense. So I think they make a really good effort here to talk about things and make story elements a little bit different that make a little bit more sense. And trust me, I have to play this game more times to let it marinate, to give a proper contrasting view to that. But I just want to play this game more. I really do. The voice acting is like a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Like, the voice actors did such a good job of feeling like these dynamic, bigger than life characters, and yet at the same time feeling pretty relatable. At the same time, and like, one thing that I love about Barrett is you hear the conflict in his voice. You hear real Barrett talk, and you hear, I'm psyching myself up to do this. I'm preaching this because, you know, he's kind of, you know, Barrett. There's two sides of himself. There's, I want to save the planet, but really that's covering the revenge he wants to take out on Shinra. And I think it's cool that you get that in his dialogue and in his person, is you get that multiplicity. Not sure if that's the right word, but it sounded right. The characters are faithful, they're fabulous, they're amazing. This game makes you care a lot about side characters that, man, there's some good stuff there. There's some good stuff there. I don't even want to, no, I can't say it. I can't say it. Say it in the other video. Damn. It's good. The music is super cool. They do a really good job of combining like old music, like the classic music, and kind of remodernizing some of it. What I think is the greatest strength of the music in this game is that there are multiple themes for situations. So like, you'll hear the battle theme, you'll hear like a hyped up version of the battle theme, you'll hear a guitar version of the battle theme, you'll hear a completely orchestral version of the battle theme, you'll hear a soft version of the battle theme for like when moments are like you're in action but you're not fighting. It's like dun dun dun, and it like builds up, and all of a sudden you get into a fight and it's like boom, and you're just like gah, gah. Man, is it cool. Man, is it awesome. So dope. But that's the cool thing is they experimented a lot with doing different stuff, and like there's even like these like different areas you'll go into. You'll hear like jazz themes of songs. So you like walk into a store or like an item shop, and like some dude will be listening to the radio, and you'll hear like different styles of the original music, and it's super cool because if you listen, you're like, oh, that's that song. That's that song. But it's like they did a dynamic job with the freaking music in this. Story elements for myself that I'm not going to give away. I'm not going to talk about the specifics, but the story elements that I wanted them to expand upon in this game, they did. And it kind of blew me away that it was like they were in my head. You know, I was like, when we would come to a certain part, I was like, man, what are they gonna do with this? Like, I want something more. I want a little, and they delivered. And I was like, oh. But this game has some feels. It really does. This game makes you feel for things, and I think that that's a testament to it, kind of like the original was. I think the biggest thing for OG fans is letting go of nostalgia a little bit, because this game does not replace the original. It doesn't. They kind of stand together in a really awesome way. And I love original Final Fantasy VII just as much still right now, and I'm going to play the hell out of them both till the day I die. But, guys, if you were on the fence about this game, the story's amazing. The combat is super addicting. The music is fabulous. The graphics, like, everything. It was really good. They do a really good job of pacing in this game too. Like, you'll be like on a mission and it feels long enough and expanded enough that's like, oh man, I got my fill of that time. And then it's like, okay, we're gonna change it up and we're gonna let you do some exploring, right? You can do this. And then you get to do all these little things and interact and see the world, and it's super cool. And it flows in just like a very natural stand. But I'm gonna tell you right now, they did a great job not bogging you down with stupid side quests. The quests and side quests and missions feel like a natural progression with the story. It's not like, oh hey, go slay 10 of these things, and then you're gonna go slay 10 of these things, and then 10 of these things. No, they put some effort into saying, hey, how can we like make this a little more organic? And it does. It feels organic. Like, you're still doing quests for people, but there's more of a flow and less of like a cheesy grind. And you can see that it's like it's just enough questing to give you perspective, to give you fun, some things to do, but not bog you down. It's more focused. And I love that, because there are things like, if you want, there's things you can go do and repeat. And so that's super cool. So the option is there. I can't talk about the ending at all. I can't talk about the ending at all, but I've got to say, I beat it last night, and I've been mulling it around in my mind, and I went back and looked at some old FF7 lore to see like, how does this hold up? How does it fit in? Does it make sense? And I think I like where it's going. There's more, and that kind of makes me excited, because as much as I am a fan of the original, I don't want just a one-for-one remake, right? I want them to do things with stuff that didn't really get as much in the original. One of the things I like is Avalanche. Avalanche gets so much more in this game, and that's awesome. It's super cool. There's other elements that get a lot more that I'm not going to talk about. And some of that takes you beyond, and you're like, how does this work? How does this fit? But like I said, when I went back and looked at the original FF7 lore, I said, it's there. It's small, but it's there. And, man, there's some super cool boss fights. The difficulty on this game was good. It was not so like, it wasn't like trudging through muck. It was so difficult. But at the same time, like, there are definitely fights that if you're not paying attention to, you can get wiped. And so I think for the normal difficulty, there's a very healthy balance. If you're an adept gamer or RPG player familiar with RPGs, I think you'll do just fine on normal. I think you'll die a couple times, you'll figure out some things, and that's the testament to the battle mechanics in this, is you gotta think your way through some things. There are definitely some enemies that are trash mobs, but not a lot of them. And there's one fight in particular that is just mean. It is so mean. I'm very much looking forward to hearing how you guys thought about that. And lastly, character designs. Holy smokes! Character designs are awesome in this, and I'm gonna just say it right out. If you don't want to hear this, you don't have to. But if you've played the original game and you know what soldier operatives look like, the attention to detail and modernization of what soldier operatives look like is so freaking cool and makes so much sense. Oh my gosh, when you look at them, you're gonna go, whoa, that makes sense. That looks awesome. That's so dope. And it's not anything like super crazy different from what you've seen in like Crisis Core or even in the original. It's just a small like little update that makes them feel more believable as a military operative. And man, are they cool looking. Are they cool looking? Like, it makes you like, it's like, yeah, I want to be a soldier operative when I grow up. They're freaking cool looking. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. The dialogue between the characters is fantastic. There's so many moments where you're like, that is exactly the same. And they don't hold back on the foul language. And I appreciate that about this game. I'm not a guy who uses like a ton of foul language personally, but I think because it's true to those characters, that's the way it should be. That's the situation they're in. That's who they are. And I like that. I like that they did not hold back on that and try to just censor everything, because I am so tired of censorship over silly things. Man, I get tired of that. I just want a story. I just want a good story, and that's what we got. We got visceral characters and an engaging story, and man, there's just a lot to love. There's a lot to love. So Final Fantasy VII content is going to start pouring in with stuff from OG and Crisis Core, and I can't wait to go through all of it with you. Guys, this has been amazing. And I'll talk to you guys more in the spoiler video. I don't know what my hands are doing. Bye-bye.